Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we make sense of the money secrets that companies try to hide from you. Today we're digging into Waste Management Inc. And let me tell you, their latest filing has some interesting gifts for some of their top people. So Waste Management, a company most of us know for picking up our trash, has filed a current report, basically an update on important happenings at the company. This tells us about some special bonuses being handed out, and not just any bonuses, but ones tied to stocks. This report highlights a pretty big deal for one of their key executives, Ms. Tara J. Hemmer. She's the Senior Vice President and Chief Sustainability Officer, which sounds like a fancy title, but importantly, she's getting a retention award. What's a retention award? It's basically a bonus to make sure she stays with the company. And this one is a chunky one, a cool $2,100,000. Now, this big sum isn't just cash in the bank right away. It's being given as restricted stock units, or RSUs. Think of RSUs like a promise of company stock in the future, but with some strings attached. These are set to be officially given out on September 2nd. The exact number of RSUs she'll get depends on the company's stock price in the 30 days before they're officially granted. The higher the stock price, the fewer RSUs she gets for her bonus. The lower the stock price, the more RSUs she receives. It's a way to reward someone for staying, but also to make sure they have skin in the game, so they care about the stock price performance. These RSUs aren't all hers to sell immediately. They vest over time. The first half, meaning 50%, will become fully hers 2 years after they're granted. The other half, the remaining 50%, she'll get 3 years after the grant date. This is a classic move to keep executives around for at least a few years. They're essentially saying she needs to stick around for a while to get the full reward. And what about any dividends the company pays while she's waiting for her stock to vest? Well, she gets those too. They'll be paid out in cash as they come in as she earns her stock. So that's a nice little bonus on top of the main award. Now, let's talk about what happens if something unexpected occurs. If Ms. Hemmer were to pass away or become disabled, all her unvested RSUs immediately become hers. They're paid out right after the event. It's a financial safety net for her or her family. Retirement is a bit more nuanced. She's not considered eligible for retirement benefits until she turns 55. That's coming up in October of 2027. If she retires after that, but before she's fully vested in all her RSUs, the second half of her award, the part that would have vested 3 years down the line, will still become hers, but she won't actually get it until that original 3-year vesting date arrives. So even in retirement, she has to wait for the full term to be up for that last chunk. What if the company decides to let her go without any fault on her part? This is called an involuntary termination without cause. In that scenario, she'll still get a portion of her unvested RSUs, but it's prorated. This means she gets the number of RSUs that correspond to the time she actually worked during the vesting period. So if she's let go halfway through the 3-year period, she'll get about half of what was left unvested, but again paid out on the original vesting schedule. It's a way to reward her for her service up to that point, even if she's let go. On the flip side, if she decides to resign on her own, or if the company has to terminate her employment for a valid reason like misconduct, then all the RSUs that haven't vested yet are simply gone. They're forfeited. This is pretty standard. It's a strong incentive for her to stay and to perform well. Then there's the situation of a change in control. This usually means the company is being bought or merged. If she's let go without cause following such an event, all her unvested RSUs will immediately vest and be paid out according to the normal vesting schedule. So she's protected financially if the company changes hands and her role becomes redundant due to that. Now, keep in mind this is a summary of the award. The full nitty-gritty details are in a separate document, Exhibit 10, one that's where all the legal fine print lives. This exhibit, Exhibit 10 point, essentially is the actual legal contract for this specific bonus award. These detailed agreements matter because they spell out exactly what happens in every possible scenario. So while this filing doesn't show us their quarterly financial numbers directly, which would be great for a deep dive into their revenue or profits, it does give us a peek into how Waste Management Inc. is trying to keep its key talent. This type of award is common for senior executives, especially in competitive industries. It shows they value Ms. Hemmer's role in sustainability efforts, and they're willing to put significant money on the line to ensure she stays. Looking at the company itself, Waste Management is a giant in its field. They have a pretty stable business model because garbage collection is a necessity. However, they also face increasing pressure from environmental regulations and the need for more sustainable practices, which is likely why her role as Chief Sustainability Officer is so important. Bonuses like this retention award suggest the company is focused on long-term stability and leadership. It's a strategic move to lock in talent that can navigate these growing environmental challenges and business shifts. My take on this is pretty straightforward. Waste management is a solid, essential business. These retention awards are standard practice for companies that need to keep experienced executives, especially in specialized roles like sustainability, which is becoming a major focus for many corporations. The vesting schedule and the clawback provisions for cause are standard risk management tools for the company. The total value of the award, $2.1 million, while substantial, is likely a small percentage of the overall compensation for a senior executive in a company of waste management size. It shows the company is willing to invest in its leadership to ensure consistent performance and strategic direction, particularly in areas like sustainability that are crucial for its future. Alright, that's our breakdown of Waste Management's Executive Award failing. What's your take on these retention bonuses and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.